phone charging is a business in Nigeria. Solar phone charging is another business, and it's a low cost business because you don't own a generator, you don't need to buy fuel, you don't need to service your generator. It's also a low risk business because every single adult owns a phone, and in places where there's no power to very reliable power, you need to have your phone charged regardless. So it's a very, very easy business. It's highly profitable because you can make up to 200 to 250,000 naira per month just charging phones, because you can charge up to 140 phones. So people charge between 100 and 150 naira per phone.
All right, thank you. My name is Oyebanji Akins, and we are live on CTD Among Blacks. I'm sure a lot of people might be wondering, something might be different, and definitely this particular episode section is different. I have with me no other person, the CEO of Oriki Energy, and his name is Mr. Olayemi Seni Oyekanmi. I believe I'm saying it right. How you doing, sir? How you doing? It's a privilege to have you
Absolutely.
on our platform.
Thank you so much for having me on the CDA. Thank you for so much for the opportunity, and hoping that get the opportunity to share a bit more about what we're doing and how we're looking at impacting lives in Nigeria.
Thank you very much for that. It's a privilege. I would say it's a privilege. We are the one having you on our platform, and the reason why I said is this: off record, me and you have talked. It's been a couple of months, and we've been back and forth about this, and it's a privilege that over the time we've talked and where you are right now, there's been a big gap of development, and that's one of the reasons why we're glad somebody a CTD among blacks and me using the author to to be able to anchor you to have you on this particular program without wasting our time for our audience that might be looking at you and they want to know what is really happening. So I would just get into it. Mr. Olayemi, can you please tell us more about Oriki Energy in a short form for people to understand?
Absolutely. So I'm the founder and CEO of Oriki Energy, and Oriki was born, with the premise of impacting lives in Nigeria and giving an opportunity to put people, individuals in Nigeria, on the path of financial independence. And by doing so, we are using basically solar mobile phone charging business as a way for people to kickstart a profitable and sustainable business back at home that is funded by the diaspora and is powered by the sun.
Hmm. Thank you very much for in a short form of you giving it out on that. I'm gonna ask more question if you don't mind. What brings this idea for you? How do you get into this? Nigeria is a country where we don't have the privilege of enjoying solar. A lot of people have it now, but I don't think if we're to look at it, maybe it's gonna be. I don't have the fact. I'm guessing it might just be 1% right now in Nigeria, and you
Mhm.
bringing that home. What, if you don't mind? I know it's none of our business, but I just want to get into what brings somebody like you into solar energy thing. And I know you're trying to impact Nigerian, and I definitely believe a lot of Nigerians have been
Mhm.
impacted already. But how do you get into this? What changed? What makes you? Because a lot of people outside Nigeria don't really want to do things back. They don't. It is not an easy business. It's not an easy idea. It is not something
Absolutely.
people always want to jump into. So what give you that courage and the confidence and the belief that okay, this is what we're doing is definitely going to go this way?
So I myself, I was born and bred in France, so and had the privilege to travel and to work extensively in Nigeria. And one of the things I always sort of wanted to do is how could I impact life of people back at home?
Hmm.
When you're here outside of the country, it's very difficult from a distance to understand what's really going on. So many landscape is changing so fast. But when you're at home and you see how resilient people are, how hardworking people can be, and how challenging day-to-day life can be, also, I just said, what can I do to basically impact the life of people without having to send money? So,
Hmm.
as a Nigerian, we all have family obligations. We
True.
all have family
Most
relatives back at home that require financial support, whether we like it or
always.
not. And what we've seen so far, and I think we're all basically a testimony of this, is that sending money or giving handouts doesn't solve any of their problems. It doesn't solve any of their financial struggles. So the idea was, say, okay, how can we basically make sure that whatever we basically make in the Western world, in the US, in the UK, in France, or anywhere in Europe, the hard earned money that we make here, how can we make sure that it best put to productive use and has the maximum impact? So we thought that solar was very easy, was a best thing to look at, because I mean it's a very easy resources to capture, through the solar panel. And for you to be able to start a business with solar makes a lot of sense because you don't have any maintenance that are linked to the solar system. You don't need to buy a generator, own a generator, service your generator, buy fuel every single day, or having even to rely on basically NEPA or PHCN. So my background is in basically I worked in Nigeria for a couple of years in power, and this sort of solar system was a bit of a revolution because now everybody can basically generate his own power just using a solar system.
Thank you very much for that. The part that I hold so passionate for me is, working in Nigeria. It's a big kind of experience working in Nigeria and being to be privileged to live outside Nigeria. A lot of people don't look back, not because they don't want to look back. It's because the challenges that comes in. Working in Nigeria, we already understand how the system works and everything like that. With this platform that you have, how has been challenges been? Have you been able to have a lot of Nigerians outside the country, dap it into these opportunities? What have been the challenges when you try to approach people? Are there been any kind of hiccups in terms of making people back outside the country to want to invest? Because you said, instead of giving cash to people back home, this is a platform where you can help people and get them working and get a lot of things going on for them. So if you don't mind sharing part of those experience of, this is a platform where we're outside Nigeria, and to City Among Blacks is outside Nigeria, we're in Houston, Texas.
Mhm.
But having you where I know definitely you're in Europe, what has been that challenges? What is that thing you like to say? Because I know a lot of people will be listening to this. I want you to use the opportunity to encourage and share the good part of people jumping onto these opportunities. And if they are not, what can you encourage them to do that?
I think one of the major challenges, it's first of all, it's a lot of Nigerians in the diaspora has very bad sort of experiences helping people back at home. They help for numbers of years, get no feedback, not being able to assess how the money is being used. And this concept of Oriki, whereby instead of sending money back home, you basically invest in a solar phone charging business. It's something very new and sort of very difficult to sort of understand at first, because you say, okay, why should I help people back at home again when I've done so and it has failed? So a lot of people are coming with a lot of their negative experience, which I understand. But we have now the power to basically do something different. Like they say, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. So this Oriki Energy is a means for you to really empower people with a sustainable and profitable business. And no need to send money. Make an investment basically in a productive use asset, which is a solar mobile phone charging business. The person starts his business, make money, and pays you back. So the main challenge is basically coming with something that is very innovative in terms of the concept of the model, and people that have had already some failed and sort of bad experiences in helping their family relatives back at home. So we're giving them the opportunity to say, okay, this is a new way to help. This is a new opportunity for you to help, and also not get a thank you or SMS message that I received the money, but to be able to see that this person is paying you back because he's generating enough income for himself, and also to be able to cater to his day-to-day challenges, like paying his school fees, uh, paying for his rent, paying for any of his healthcare sort of issues, and etc. So that's the main challenge of basically coming with a new concept of helping people back at home, which doesn't require you to just wire money, do a Western Union, MoneyGram and whatever, and forget about it and just wait for them to come back next 3 months asking for more money.
Thank you for that explanation. If you don't mind, me asking you this one is more personal for me. For this particular opportunity you have, what is that way of monitoring? Let's just say, for example, I'm in America right now, and I want to go to your website to to go and put my money into it. How do I follow up? What do I do? What is that way of me knowing, okay, everything? Because like you said, there's been a lot of experience where Nigerians don't want to just something new like this. But for me, I don't see anything wrong. If I have the opportunity of putting, because solar is something where Nigerian, I won't use the word entire Nigerians, but I know a couple of places, and with the way economy is in Nigeria of today, electricity or light has been something that is a big issue for people back home. And for we that are outside the country, Sometimes just to make a call or to be able to know what is going on, especially with the state of economy back home, is kind of hard. With that being said, what is that? How can, if you don't mind, can you break down the procedures, the steps? If I want to, let's say I want to put my money down now. What is that procedure that you can create, or in a short form explain to me that will encourage me to go to your website and say, let me check it out?
So you visit orikienergy.com. You
Okay.
purchase the Oriki business kits directly on the website. Oriki will then deliver it, install it. You watch your people make money with the Oriki solar mobile phone charging business, and you get your money back. And the way basically it works also is that the devices are IoT, which means that we can track, we know exactly where the device is, we know whether the device is on or off, and guess what? We can also disconnect it remotely. So if the person fails to make a payment because he's now has a duty to repay you every single month for the next 18 months, if he fails to do so, we can basically disconnect and the device disconnects automatically remotely. So
Wow.
when
I, I
the
have a
system is
question on that.
disconnected,
Question is this. When you said whoever that put money, let's say I'm using myself as an example. Oyebanji, Akins now say, okay, you know what? With the purpose of this particular conversation we are having, I've went behind to check your website, and me and you have been talking for a very long time. So personally, for me, I would be for this particular conversation we're having. I know definitely we've talked about you giving CTDAmongblacks a code that anybody from our followers that might use this particular uh, podium to listen to this particular what we're talking about. There's a code you promise you're going to give us, which will help them to get save a little money out. So if you're listening to this, you're part of the followers that have been following CTDAmongblacks. It's an opportunity for you to help somebody back home, as I'm doing right now. So I myself will be trying to empower somebody from my hometown, if a chief actually from my hometown. So I'm using myself as a way of asking the question a lot of people will ask. So let's say I want to buy one solar panel that has to charge in a phone, and do I have to pay the money one time before they will get the product, or there's any way of how I can pay? If you don't mind explaining that to me.
so you go on the orikienergy.com website. You make the payment. So if you want, you can make a payment outright, or if you use a PayPal account, you can pay in 4 installments.
Wow, wonderful.
So with a PayPal account, you can pay in 4 installments. Immediately, you make a payment via PayPal. We immediately deliver because all the products are currently in Nigeria. So for
Great.
Oyetoro, we have a logistics center in Abeokuta. So we'll probably ship the device from Abeokuta to Oyetoro.
That's great. So you are all around Nigeria actually. So if anybody wants, so you move remote. There's somebody already that is ready to, once we make the payments. It takes how many days before we get our product?
It takes maximum of 10 days depending on where you are in Nigeria. But we have 24 sort of logistics centers in Nigeria where we can basically take the products from. So for example, obviously we have Lagos, we have Ibadan, we have River State, we have some places in Cross Rivers in Nigeria, in FCT. So those products are currently on the ground in Nigeria. So depending on where you are, is within 10 days. If it's far up north in Kano and etc., we just need a bit of time. But we have all of these products readily available and ready to be deployed.
So my next question is, okay, I'm listening to you.
So we'll basically get them to Oyetoro, deliver, install. Is a plug and play system. So immediately when we install it, it's ready to use. The person from day one can start making money, and over 18 months will be pay you on a monthly basis so that you get your money back. And we'll be basically organizing for the collection of that money on your behalf, and you can make use of that money anytime you want.
Thank you. So that's you already answered the next question in between everything you explained right now, because I was about to ask that once the product is being delivered, are you going to be the one to install? Which I think you explained what you're saying. Is there any way like maintenance? Is there anything like, let's just say, have there been any experience where somebody is using it and they kind of have an e-cops? Is there a number that people can call that it can help them to guide them in how to get that thing working back, or you don't have that yet?
Yeah, we have a customer service line. If there's any sort of issues, there are 3-year warranty on the product. So if there's any technical issue, we'll take it back, fix it, or replace it. So there's a 3-year warranty on the product. The life expectancy of the products is between 7 to 10 years. And we've had people run this business for the last 2 years. And in terms of maintenance, which is actually a very cool stuff, is that there's no maintenance, because all you
Wow.
need to do is every maybe 2 months clean the solar panel, because they gather sort of dust, and that sort of blocks basically the sunlight from being converted into the, or absorbed by the solar panel. So in terms of maintenance, there's nothing. All you need to do every 2 months, every 3 months, climb on the roof and just take a sponge and basically clean up the dirt that is on the solar panels. So
Wow.
we've been able to run this business, and we have Oriki entrepreneurs running the business in Ogun State, in Abeokuta. We have some in Oyo State, in Erua. We have some in Abuja. We have guys in Imo State, in Owerri, in Lagos State, and in some other places. So we've been able to make sure that the product is very robust and is also coming from a blue chip international company. So we're not just buying products from China. The products actually were designed in Germany and produced in China, and the company that is actually our partner to manufacture this product are a sort of international and well-known sort of Fortune 500 company that is based in Europe. So
Thank
the products
thank
are
you
very
very much.
robust.
Thank
Products
you,
are
because
very robust.
the question I'm trying to ask is like you're following the rhythm of what I'm about to ask this, and you've shared it. One more thing that I want to ask you is I'm using myself, like I said, like, okay, I've put the money down, we've given the product out. You said something in between. You said, that person will start making money and you start making money back. How do I make my money back? What is in for you? Let's say I put the money into your account, into your website, the product is given to the man. They're making payments every month into your own account, and you just said, if I need the money, I can go into the same account to get the money out. So how
Mhm.
do you get your own money? What is the percentage of what I'm getting back? Or can I just leave the money there and to help somebody? Let's say it takes like how many months, years for basically you've been running this, like how many years does it take somebody to pay the money off? And if I decided like, okay, if the payoff within 1 year, I don't know the duration. If it's 1 year, then after 1 year now, I can use that same money instead of me taking it to empower somebody else. Is that
Absolutely.
what you mean? If I wanna get that part properly.
So the premise of this business is we want you to act as an investor and to make sure that the money that you're basically empowering somebody is put to great use. And the only way we know how to basically measure that is for that money to come back. That's the best basically KPI or yardstick to
Hmm.
know that the person is doing well. Nobody in Nigeria will run a business and give you back money just like that. I'm sure a lot of people have been sending money back home for businesses and never get
A
anything
lot,
back. So
a lot.
yeah, so the fact that the system basically disconnects gives a high incentive for the person not to be locked out of the system and to be able to continue the business. So because you are charging phones on a day-to-day basis, you can charge up to 140 phones per day. People want that system to be on the following day. They don't want to default today because they know that tomorrow I still have 100 people or 50 people that will come and charge their phones tomorrow. So the incentive is to keep that business on so that I can make my daily income. And like we know in Nigeria, daily income is better than monthly income.
With the way Nigeria is right now, it's number one priority to make sure
Exactly.
you make your money every day.
Exactly. So the way we design the model is to make sure that you have an incentive, the person has an incentive to run the business and run it sustainably. So he's making money and he also pays you back. So he pays every week or every month into a dedicated bank account. If he fails to do so, he locks the system, and he does so over 18 months. So we do recommend like a 2 months grace period so that he gets to understand how the system works and he can create a bit of marketing and people know that he's in business and he's always is a reliable place where you can charge your business because he's using solar. After the end of the second month, he starts paying on a monthly basis over 18 months. So basically, we collect that money on your behalf onto a bank account. And then if you want to basically withdraw the funds, you just let us know. In 24 hours, we'll wire the money into a local Nigerian bank account. So after 18 months, the idea is for you to recover 100% of the investment that you've made in obviously Naira value. So, for
Hmm.
example, if you make a payment, the cost is about $650 now. The idea, which is the equivalent now of about 1 million, 1.1 million, the idea is for you in 18 months, let's say 20 months, to be able to collect that 1.1 million naira. And
Wow.
left to you to do whatever you want to do with that money. If you want to empower somebody else for him to basically expand his business, or if you need to basically to cater or to help somebody else. So we say with this Oriki, you can empower one person, get your money back, and help somebody else with that same money. which never
Hmm.
happens. So you can almost help two people at the same time.
Wow. Thank you very much for breaking it down like that. I definitely believe for anybody that might want to go into it with the explanation you're giving to us would definitely help them. I see something on your website. I just want to ask you this too about saying you're doing 100 people, if I'm correct, empowerment in Nigeria right now. And I think if I'm correct, the last time I went to your website, it's 50 or something. I didn't get a number. If you don't mind, is this something you would like to share more for everybody in in abroad? I will use the word disappear, like people having family back home. What is that thing you want to explain more about that particular thing you're doing right now that I see on your website?
Yeah, we wanted to zoom in on the city of Abeokuta. We're
Okay.
actually grateful that we had the KBC of Olowu of Owu, a personality and His Royal Majesty that decided to basically empower people using the Oriki solar mobile phone charging business. So empowered three people in Abeokuta, and he spoke very highly because he saw the impact on his people. People that working part time in the palace for him now full time on this, working full time as a Oriki entrepreneur, charging phones, and they've been so successful because they've been remitting the money, and he's been seeing the money being remitted on a weekly or monthly basis. So that was extremely powerful. And we say that because I am also from the city of Abeokuta, we say, okay, let us create a network of places where people can charge their phones. Charging phone is a business in Nigeria for those people that have been away for very long. In places where
Hmm.
there's no power or very unreliable power, every single adult owns a mobile phone, and every
True.
single adult needs to have that phone charged every single day. Just like we, wherever you are in the US, in UK, in Europe, the first thing you do when you go to bed at night, you charge your phone. In the
Most
morning, you
definitely.
check if your phone is charged. If it's not charged, you look for somewhere to charge it. So we have the same sort of behavior between we that we are in the diaspora and people back at home in terms of what were the value of having a phone on and with a full charge. So we decided, okay, let's give the opportunity for the large numbers of people in Abeokuta which are struggling with power to have a place, an Oriki center, where they can have their phone charged, a reliable place that can have their phone charged at an affordable price. So phone charging is a business in Nigeria. Solar phone charging is another business, and it's a low cost business because you don't own a generator, you don't need to buy fuel, you don't need to service your generator. It's also a low risk business because every single adult owns a phone, and in places where there's no power to very reliable power, you need to have your phone charged regardless. And it's a high profit because you're not trading goods. You go to the market today, the price is at a high price, you sell at low prices or on credit with the phone charging is money for hand, like we say in Nigeria. Bring your phone and charge it, I collect my money. and then
That's
and then you
That's true.
money for hands.
I heard you saying Abeokuta. So this empowerment is only this one you're talking about just now that you explained is only meant for people in Abeokuta, or you're expanding into any other places in Nigeria.
We
Or
started
you
with
just
Abeokuta, but we can do it anywhere. What we wanted to do is just show to the people of Abeokuta that are struggling with power that it works. So we're onboarding a numbers of Oriki entrepreneurs that are starting this business in different locations. For those that are in Abeokuta, in Sokori, in Ogbe, at the Owu Palace, in Laughing in so many different locations in local government, just to show that this actually works. So the idea for us is really to create like a network where people can run this business and cater to their communities, and it can
so
be
me.
done
I'm trying to
everywhere in Nigeria.
I'm trying to stand for which I believe we're still under the same umbrella. Ayetoro, which is Yewa North of Ogun State. I will have to discuss this behind the scene with you, but it's an opportunity which I won't mind to expand to Ayetoro people because a lot of people back home over there too are struggling when it comes to light. And like you said, the most important thing right now, I think, in the world is your phone. Electronics is something where it has helped save a lot of people. And the way things is going in Nigeria, I think phone is something where it is the first communication people used to get to ourselves easily to know what is really, really happening. So it's something I would like to join on board to see how I can stretch that hand, to see how we can empower people in Ayetoro, which I will try to see what I can do from my own. Like I said, I already put myself, most definitely, we'll be getting one of our chief in Ayetoro to kickstart the Ayetoro on. And I have some Ayetoro community here in Houston that I will try specifically myself reach
Hmm.
out to. And I'm using this opportunity to talk to everybody under this that have been following City Among Blacks. Is an opportunity because I believe Mr. Olayemi Seni will be giving us a code today. I don't know what the percentage is going to be, but I definitely know we've talked about it. And I want everybody, our fans, if you are Yetoru, anywhere you might be in Nigeria, anywhere you might be in the world, you've been in partaking of CTD Among Blacks. And like we always say, our goal is to connect the dots and bridge all the gaps. And this is an opportunity for us to bridge the gap. And anywhere you might be that you're following us, that you're listening, I'm hoping this is a change of heart for you to see things from a different angle. So, Mr. Olayemi, what is the percentage you'll be giving anybody that follow us in terms of being our followers to use for them to feel like, okay, you know what? For the fact that I'm listening to City Among Blacks, I catch this particular moment, I'll be saving 2%, 3%, 4%,
Hey,
1%, 1%. So, what are you going to be giving our fans in terms of every time they use the code? I will appreciate if you can give us a code of for anybody listening right now. I'm about to ask Mr. Olayemi Seni, which is the founder of Oriki Solar Energy, and they've been doing a very wonderful things. I've went to their page. You could go to their website. It's www.orikienergy. You definitely see the fact, and he has talked about the Oba of Olowu. I went there to watch the Oba of Olowu live where he was talking, and I've seen the impact, and he has really moved me to want to be part of this particular movement. So, Mr. Olayemi, for the last time, what percentage would you be giving us so that our fans can be able to jump on it and get something out for our families back home?
first of all, we'd like to thank you for at least being on board and on believing in basically real impact and empowering people back at home. So we're really
Thank you.
eager to have this system deployed in Oyetoro. And for the CDMA amongst blacks, we'll be providing a promo code of 10% discounts, direct
Wow.
discount on the product itself. But
Thank you very much.
this discount is only for people that are the CDMA amongst blacks audience and people that are really invested in impact. You
Hmm.
know, really to make sure that whatever we're doing back at home has the maximum impact. And if we can get the money back, it's even better because this is a way for you to know that something is working. Nobody's going to
Oh.
give you money back in Nigeria just free of charge.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Thank you very much for you that might be listening to us. This is City Among Blacks. You can check us on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Radio, on Amazon Music, on Apple Podcast and Spotify. At the same name, just Google CTD Among Blacks. The same thing on YouTube. And it's a privilege we are having. This is going to be our first ever opportunity of a promo where they're giving us a code of 10%, which I know that's a lot of money. And this is an opportunity for you anywhere you might be in abroad that you've been thinking of what you could do for your family, that you could do for your sisters, your relative, your dad, your uncle, your sisters, your siblings, that you don't want to give them the cash because you can't monitor it. This is an opportunity for you to put money behind, like we used to say in America here, they said, put your money where your mouth is. When it comes to
Absolutely.
family, you want to put the money, but sometimes you can't put your mouth because if it's your elderly brother you help or your sister now, you can't tell them how
Mhm.
to move. But this is an opportunity where you could put your mouth where your money is when you put the money and you get the product and they can deliver it to them and you don't have to be involved anymore. It's them with Oriki. If they don't pay, they post it. If they pay the money back, you know, and that shows some kind of accountability for people of your family member to know, like, okay, somebody have put money down, I must do my own part. With that being said, Mr. Olayemi, is there any other, we've talked about the phone. Is that the only thing your company is focusing more now, or you have other gadgets? Because I went there that you have that you like to
For
share
now,
with
we
our audience.
focus really on the phones because we feel it's a very easy business. Just to tell you a bit about the profile of people that run this business currently in Nigeria, we call them Oriki entrepreneurs. We have single mothers that have dropped out of primary school that are very successful with the business, up to accountants, teachers that are running this business as a side hustle.
Oh,
Charging phones, collecting a phone and charging it and collecting your money is a very, very easy thing with no maintenance.
oh,
So this business works very well in places where there's no power, on very unreliable power, and it works well where you have a community of adults that own phones.
oh,
And it's a stress-free business, stress-free for you that is in the diaspora, because we do the collection of the money for you on your behalf. We send you the reports that the money is coming in. If the money doesn't come in, we disconnect, and basically you can blame it on us. Say it's Oriki that disconnected you, it's not me. So you can blame it on us. So you can sort of release
Have
and
some
make
kind
sure
of
that
relief.
yes,
True.
relief. Just so we are like the third party that will be sort of handling it. So it's a very very easy business. It's highly profitable because you can make up to 200 to 250,000 naira per month just charging phones, because you can charge up to 140 phones. So people charge between 100 and 150 naira per phone. You can do that 5 days a week to 6 days a week to 7 days a week, depending on how much money you want to make. So it's highly profitable, and it's profitable because you can do it very close to your house. You don't need to be
Hmm.
paying transportation costs, to be going to work every single day, to be making money, earning a salary that is going to may come or no come at the end of the month. So it's a
Hmm.
highly profitable business that you can run somewhere very close to your house, make the money without any stress. You don't need to go to the market to buy any, or you don't need capital to go to the market and buy product and resell. This one, you just stay in your shop, in your kiosk, collect the phone, charge it, collect your money, and that is it. And you repeat the
Hmm.
same thing every single day. So
Thank
that's the
you
reason why we
very.
say that focus is on the solar mobile phone charging business, because it's the easiest business to run, to operate in an area, in the places in Nigeria where it's, the environment is very challenging.
Thank you for the explanation. I think you really went into better ways of, breaking down the amount of money they will make in a month, because that's something where now, if anybody want to jump onto it, to have a figure number of what they will be making and how that person can be able to take care of themselves and still be able to remit the actual amount they're supposed to remit. And in Nigeria of today, making that almost $20,000. Sorry for that, 200,000 naira.
Amen to that, to the
Hey,
dollars.
200,000 naira in a month in Nigerian economy is something that will really change, especially how things are being done back home. For to make that amount of money, I don't think the minimum wage in Nigeria is not even up to that. And having to run a business where you don't have to do nothing except just making sure you're doing your own diligence of, like you said, the first 2 months, you give them to go and advertise of what they're doing, and people can really respect and know they're the reliable source for them to charge phone. Thank you very much, Mr. Olayemi. And the last question I would like to ask you for today before we end this particular section is, what is that thing you like to tell to Nigerians back home? What is that thing you like to talk to an entrepreneur that maybe they're outside the country or they're in Nigeria, using your own platform as a way of reference to the people back home? That's the last question I would like to ask you.
My favorite quote, and the reason why I started this business, is give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. This is the premise of which I founded Oriki Energy, and I feel that this tells you that impact is very important, and providing, and that's where the Oriki comes from. Giving the opportunity for people to start a business. Starting a business is always very very difficult, particularly in Nigeria. Failing is not only because of your skills, but sometimes because of the environment in Nigeria. We're trying to put together a business model that is sort of proof of all of the issues that you have. Inflation is high, it doesn't concern you. There's no NEPA light, it doesn't concern you. There's fuel scarcity, your business is still moving. So this is what we're trying to sort of build, sort of a business, a mini business for people in Nigeria, so that they can sort of put themselves on the path to financial independence and be sort of uh, shielded from one of the most toughest environments. Everybody owns a phone. Everybody will always own a phone. Light is an issue and will be an issue in the years to come. So just start your business of charging phones today. Do one, do two, two, three, and we want to say network or in Ayetoro of Oriki entrepreneurs charging
Most
phones.
definitely,
And
most
when you
definitely.
come
That
back there,
that's
see your handwork, you see that, look at what I've done. The life has changed. We have a gentleman that's been running the business for 2 years, and he was a young graduate from Ibadan. And the guy sent me a message just a couple of months ago, and he said, "I'm getting married now because I'm financially
wow.
because of the
Mm,
Oriki business."
mm.
And that was like, wow, just this small unit, solar panels, just this solar system that has been able to change this guy's life. Now the guy is a businessman. He's gone back to school to take his MSc. He's put somebody
Mm,
there that's running the business. His wife is there. So it really
mm.
has an impact on people's lives. So those are really interested in really making that impact, so that people can put themselves on the path to financial independence. Oriki is the right place to start, and you and I can do it. We don't need to wait for the government. We don't need to wait for anything, and we can stop sending money. I'm sure a lot of people are tired of sending money. back home. Well, a
It's a
lot of
lot.
pressure because things
Oh,
are fortunately very difficult. So this is a way out for you to sort of say, let me empower you, make money from this so that I can, so that you are now sort of on the path to financial independence and you can deal cater to the day-to-day life burdens on your own.
thank you very much for that explanation. I think for me, even listening to you, you've impacted something which is I think a lot of people doesn't value is having an impact and having a purpose. Those two things goes a long way. You've been able to create a kind of a opportunity to empower people back home, and empowerment goes and like you said, once you can catch the fish, it changes everything at the end of the day. And the story of the young man you shared have changed because for him to be able to have his own wedding, change that family, change that set of people that move around him, and just one person that you change can change a lot of people. So for you that might be listening to us anywhere you might be, this is CTD Among Blacks, and my name is Oyebanji Akins, and you've heard from the CEO of Oriki Energy, and he has said it all that we need to know. So please, wherever you might be, remember there's a code. If you go to our website, it'll be ready. You can see it from our website to take the code CTDA and be able to enjoy this 10%. Like you said, have it in your mind that you're joining Mr. Shenny, you're joining me to them, asking him the question to impact somebody back home, not just that one person you're impacting. Because the moment they can have the product, they can charge from them with a substantial of money that doesn't have to be more than between 100 and 150 naira, which I know is not even up to a food of plate in Nigeria. So imagine you can charge your phone to make your business going, to communicate with friends and family, to be able to reach out to people outside the country, goes beyond little amount you pay to even eat in a day. That is an opportunity for you to empower somebody out there. So thank you very much, Mr. Olayemi Seni Oyekanmi. It's been a privilege having you at the end of the day. And it's a privilege that you're giving City Among Blacks to be one of your pioneers that will start spreading the words more and giving the opportunity of the codes for people to jump on to help you back home. It's a privilege. We thank you. We appreciate you. And hopefully, who knows, by the time we're bringing you back again, it's definitely going to be more testimony we'll be sharing and being able to
Absolutely.
empower people more and more and more. Thank you very much, Mr. Olayemi. It's a privilege. And do have a lovely and wonderful day back there in Europe and stay blessed, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your viewers. Thank you, Oyebanji.